Que lo que mi gente, what's up everybody, it's your boy J-Rod and welcome to the channel. So today's video, we're gonna be talking about on how to find an apartment quickly in the Dominican Republic. In this day and age, a lot of people are relocating. I got DMs of people talking about they wanna move out the country. Some people, they just wanna have a long extended stay because of all the craziness that's going on in America. So honestly, why not? It's a brand new year. A lot of people are looking to relocate to other countries. All right, so before we start this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. All right, let's go. All right, so the only requirement that you need in order to find an apartment in the Dominican Republic is just proof of income, okay? So it's not like America where they do all these credit checks and extensive background check. Well, they don't really do background checks, but most of the time in America, they will look at your credit, most of these apartments. But here in the Dominican Republic, all they do is they really just look at proof of income, proof of employment. All right, let me just clarify something real quickly. When I say proof of employment, you do not necessarily have to be employed in the Dominican Republic, okay? You don't need a work visa. They just want to see that you have proof of income. So if you're somebody that works remotely and you have income coming in from the United States, or if you have a business outside of the country, they just want to make sure that you do have some type of revenue. Okay, they just want to make sure that you're somebody that's just not going to up and leave the country, especially because you don't have ties to it. So if you don't have kids, marriage, work, okay, they want to make sure that you're somebody that can actually afford the place that you're renting out. So there are a couple of ways you can go about finding an apartment in the Dominican Republic. The first way is you can just go on foot or in person through the city. So if you find an apartment listing, they usually have like the contact information on the window or on the door, and that's how you can set up a consultation. Or you can do it online, which I think is a little bit easier just because you have all your options in front of you. So I will list a couple of websites down below. Some of the popular ones is Mercado Libre. I think that's my favorite. You have Supercasas, Corotos.com. I'm gonna list all this in the description box. You can also do Facebook Marketplace. Just be careful on Facebook because there are a lot of scams out there. The best way to do it, in my opinion, is just look online. So that way you can kind of see all your options. They will have the apartments listed in pesos for the most part. So, but in some scenarios, they do have it listed in USD or US dollars, okay? So if you are somebody that's a foreigner and is deciding to rent an apartment in Dominican Republic, please make sure that you are renting in pesos and not dollars, because if you rent in dollars, then you're gonna be getting charged more, okay? So, and if you are unsure about the conversion, there are different little calculators online. You can just Google DOP to USD, that'll tell you how much it is. Or if you can do the math in your head like me, then, you know, good job. All right, so once you find your listing, whether it be in person or if you find it online, definitely you want to go ahead and do the application. So like I told you, the application, really the only thing that they're looking for is proof of income and check stubs over the past couple of months. Typically, most apartments, all they really need is like the deposit, first and last month's rent. In some rare scenarios, okay, I gotta throw this out there, it doesn't really happen often. Usually, like I said, if you just show proof of employment and show that you are able to pay for this apartment, a lot of times that's the only thing you need. But in some rare occasions, they will ask for a cosigner if they deem necessary, okay? So and it's usually just a Dominican that lives locally in the Dominican Republic, but that typically does not happen. Like I said, if you have the income to pay for the apartment, it's not like America, like I told you, where they do all these like background checks and credit checks. Here is like they go strictly just off of income, but in some cases they will or could ask for a cosigner if they feel like it's necessary. And then the only way around that, if you don't want to do the cosigner, is then you can pay the rent in advance. But honestly, I don't feel like that's a good idea, just because if you do find an apartment and you don't end up liking it, well, now you just done spent a lot of money on paying your rent in advance, okay? So they do have some really flexible leasing options in Dominican Republic. They have 6-month leases, 12 months. Really, you just have to go around and look and see what you can find. Another thing, if you're somebody that's not fluent in Spanish, I definitely recommend you to do this with somebody who can translate for you. I myself speak Spanish, so I don't really have this issue, but just because I am a foreigner, sometimes people, they do try to get over on you. So it's always good to go with a local, just because I feel like it'll just flow a little bit better and it'll be less little things of people trying to get over on you, okay? The most main important thing that I must tell everybody is make sure that the appliances work, make sure that the water runs. Like I told you, the website sometimes does not do it justice, so just make sure that everything's in working order. Ask questions about the electricity. You already know well, for the people who don't know, in the Dominican Republic, sometimes the power goes out. So ask, do they have inverters in the house, or is it something that you need to get installed? The same thing goes for air conditioning and AC. Some of these things you might have to get installed depending on the listing that you go to, if it doesn't already have these things. And last but not least, of course, they'll just need to take a copy of your passport for documentation purposes. And that's pretty much it. Like, it's really simple. So check stubs, proof of income, passport, and you're pretty much set to go. Like I told you, I don't recommend paying for the rent in advance, only because it could be a ripoff, or it might be someplace that you don't like. Always, when doing business in the country, regardless if you're fluent in Spanish or not, go with another local, because a lot of times, like I told you, being a foreigner, they will try to get over on you. Not in every situation, but it does happen sometimes, even for somebody who's fluent in Spanish, okay? But yeah, that's pretty much the steps in order to find an apartment in the Dominican Republic. Like I told you, it's very easy. I got all the websites listed down below. And on those apartment listings that you find on the website, they usually have their contact information, either their WhatsApp or their email, linked on the listing. So that's the way how you can contact the people to ask more questions. But just make sure that you thoroughly inspect these places before signing any contract, okay? All right, guys, but if you got any questions, you know what to do. I got my information down below. I hope you all have a wonderful new year. And this year, I do want to be a little bit more consistent on YouTube. That actually is one of my resolutions this year. I done kind of fell off of YouTube. Like, I haven't really been posting as much, but I said this year I'm going to get back into it. So y'all stay safe out there, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.